little ponies. I am Starlight, and welcome once again to another fan chat. Where today we will be discussing video games. Here today with me is DM Pone 3000.
I
What's
dropped
up?
my drink.
Nice to see you again, DM. Fatal Park, spelled with 4.
Oh.
And here for the first time, a Narrowmancer.
Geodive.
And I'm Starlight, your lovely and ditzy host. So, why don't we start up by telling everybody what is your favorite video game or your favorite kind of video game? You can't pick one. How about you, DM?
Video games. I love Persona 4, but really I love RPGs in general. That's like the first type of game that I got into.
What about you, Fatal?
Oh, well, I have to say I love first-person shooters. FPS. Pretty nice.
I'm horrible at first-person shooters. What about you, Narrowmancer?
I'm sort of split down the middle.
You can say both if you can't pick.
Yeah, I know. I do like FPS, and occasionally I will enjoy the odd RPG, but it's usually FPS for me.
Okay. I am a huge fan of RPGs and, God, I can't think of the name. There's those video games that are stories. You know what I'm talking about? Yes, visual novels. I love those things. I play them on my iPod all the time. Like, it's what I play when I'm too lazy to actually play a video game. So, yeah, RPGs and those. If I had to pick a favorite game, I'd have to say it would be my Inuyasha for my PlayStation 2. I love that game. All the different scene cuts you can get. I still haven't figured out how to get my picture or my cutscenes with Shishomaru yet. But one of these days, I will. Shishomaru shall be mine.
You and your pretty boys.
Although, I wouldn't mind if he was Koga's. But that's just me shipping people. Well, demons. Don't pay attention to me when I'm shipping. Please, people. It doesn't get pretty. Well, it does. Kind of the point.
The only visual novel game I really can say I've played was it was actually a fighting game called Blaze Blue. When it was still on the available for the Xbox, it was like I said, it was a fighting game, but all the cutscenes and everything, or the in-between scenes and the story scenes, they were all visual novel based, even with diverging storylines, with the exception of certain cutscenes that were animated in the anime art style. Made sense because it's Japanese. So.
And Otaku Gamer Bro says, "Hi everyone."
Join
Hello,
us.
Otaku, how are you doing this fine, mighty day?
I know, one of these days we must get you on here, but who knows? He always has computer troubles. You know him.
Okay.
Anywho's it.
Okay, fine. I'll just go talk about Blaze Blue for a bit. I have played a couple of visual novels like that, although I played quite a wide range of them. The ones that I played that are console-based were like Blaze Blue and Persona 4 Arena, but then again, they were made by the same company.
I usually like the ones where the girls act really, really cutesy. I love them. It's just cute overload. You can't help but want to reach into the screen and snuggle them.
I've played many of those. I played a lot of visual novels like that.
You mean like Dan from Equestria Daily?
No,
You dare bring that up?
We are not
front of
bringing that
me?
up. I remember. No, God no.
It's not a visual novel.
Is that the game
It's a
where you
dating
go
sim.
around?
There's a difference.
Is that the game where you go around screwing all the main six?
Yes, that's the
And
game.
Huh. Right, the one with the. I've never played it. I've heard of it.
That was
it's
not a
Forced me to play it. I was forced to play it.
It's not really my kind of game.
Although when most people, let's be honest here. There's a negative stereotype to visual novels in that they're all hentai games.
They're all hentai. Yeah,
That's the negative stereotype about them.
I
Uh-huh.
should know.
I'll stick to my first-person shooters.
Yeah, probably
I
does.
suck at first-person shooters. I always die in like the first 2 minutes. That's the problem with me in video games. I get addicted to a video game until I get stuck, in which case I have a really hard time getting past parts. Like, especially if it's like boss scenes, in which case I get really pissed off, and if I can't defeat it in like 10 tries, I give up and walk away from the video game for like 3 weeks or something. Like, there's been times where I've just given up on a game altogether and like haven't touched it. Like, I'm pretty sure my hacked video game is still sitting on the shelf where I left it like 4 years ago.
I like really fast-paced kind of moments. I just work better under those conditions when everything is just so fast. Like, I don't know, it just feels comforting just knowing that.
I like
I don't know.
story elements though, like just going in and killing things. Although, okay, I do have one video game that's nothing but mindless violence, and I love it. Have any of you guys played Cranky Bear? Or no, not Cranky Bear, Naughty Bear.
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
I know you're just killing like stupid teddy bears, but dear lord, is it so much fun. And oh, go ahead.
Oh, well, I just wanted to bring up a point about the games I play later, but you can finish.
I was just gonna say Otaku Gamer Brony has said my favorite video games are Need for Speed, Halo, Mario Kart, and almost every fighting game. Mario.
Yeah, let's play the gender bent version, Mary Kart.
well, see, the games I play, like Call of Duty, it's not all just run, shoot, kill.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
Yeah,
like, if you actually play the single player of those games,
it's very
they actually
small.
have in-depth stories.
It actually does take a while to figure out what's actually happening. You actually have to use your brain to figure out, oh, what's Odin's system gonna do for the Russian Republic? Oh, is it going to strike the U.S. or is it gonna shut down
Here's the
drones?
interesting thing about the Odin satellite is that that's actually based off of a real super weapon that the U.S. almost made.
Yeah, that's the funny part because.
Yeah, and it was called Thor, but we never built it.
Ouch.
Actually, there's something called, I believe, Odin or Thor, one of those two. It's an actual website hack or software you can use, and you can hack anything else, but the police can just track down to where you actually download the software. So it's easily programmed just by 3 clicks of a button. The cops will be right at your door, busting it down.
Actually, there's a way you can get around that. All you need to do is make sure you're plugged into a proxy when you use it. Because I know the Tor network will reroute your location to anyone who tries to trace you to about 3,000 different locations, none of which are where you're actually at.
Oh.
Okay.
Well,
So,
either way, I don't think
What video games do you guys think are overrated?
Oh, that's a good question.
Call of Duty.
Hello!
The newer ones, at least. I was a big
yes.
fan of Modern Warfare. Like that was like one of my favorite games for a while.
Ghosts is horrible. I'm not saying Call of Duty Ghosts is horrible, but there are a few aspects that just takes the feeling of Call of Duty. It's more Battlefield, if anything.
I've heard
Mega
about
Man.
that. It's like my friend even said, it's bad, even Call of Duty fans don't like it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing about it. Here's the thing about it. It's like with at least Modern Warfare, you got the sensation that, okay, yeah, it can stretch my willing suspension of disbelief a little bit, but you can believe that this is like a real fake conflict. You know what I mean when I say that? Like,
Yeah.
it's fake enough that you know it's fiction, but it's real enough where you can buy it. And also there were many, many, many perspectives with it. Like you were Fatal.
Yes.
Mike is-
Oh no, he's being sucked up in the void.
Yeah, there's so many perspectives on it that you really got the feeling that it was this huge conflict with many sides, and that it really was a world war because everything was connected.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I got with it.
Yeah, with Ghost, it's just one perspective, and your suspension is broken too much because it's like, oh look, it's Rourke. He survived the fucking super weapon, which no one should have, and it was way too fake. It like smashed my like suspension of disbelief, and I
Okay. I'm probably going to get killed for this, but I think the Pokemon game's overrated. It's the same game over and over again.
Oh, I still.
Screams of the damned is what I just
It's
heard.
the same game over and over again.
That's what
Well-
makes him great.
No,
But you
no,
buy one, you have them all.
No,
Like,
That's the point.
no, it isn't.
changing the color of the cartridge and adding some
Wait,
new Pokemon
wait,
to it.
wait. I got to point this out. Have you guys noticed there's this big irony to games, especially when it involves Nintendo or like a sacred cow company? Like think about it like this: if you call Pokemon the same game over and over again with little improvements, besides like adding the superficial stuff, like adding Pokemon or something.
Or making the cartridges shiny.
Yeah, well, not really that. That's a
More of a.
that's a meta thing. Yeah, it's like this. If you say, oh, Call of Duty is just the same game all the time, but if you say that about Pokemon, everyone loses their shit.
Yeah,
Even though
Like-
let's be honest here, it is technically. I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing, but it is technically true that every Pokemon game is virtually the same, with just a different paint job.
Like I like the I own the first Pokemon game. I like Pokemon. It's just you can only keep sending us the same stuff over and over again, And every time there's a new Pokemon game, oh my god, are you going to go get the new Pokemon game? Yeah, I'm
But
totally going to spend $50 on the exact same game I have 20 other cartridges of.
that's better for everyone. So the idiots lose their money, and then the smart people save their money, and the guys on top get all the money. There we go. Everybody's happy.
Yeah, or it sometimes it's for the characters too. Like they'll say, oh, you play whatever, or like within context of FPS, it's like, oh, you play like Call of Duty, Halo, whatever. The protagonist has no character. Oh, but Gordon Freeman is an excellent character. Yeah, I've seen people make that argument, and I'm like, oh, you just went full retard. You never go full retard.
Okay, back to the thing you said before the podcast. Ash Ketchum is definitely the extreme optimist.
You're. That's the anime, though.
Yeah, isn't he
Anime.
called Red in the games?
Optimus, but
Isn't he called Red in the games?
yeah, he's called Red in the games, but this is the anime. The anime, which like,
Oh, Baitza. Hi,
Hey,
Baitza.
bye. How you doing, my brother?
I apologize to any British people I've just offended with that accent.
Heyo.
Hey,
Hi,
Fighter. It's been a while.
Yep.
I don't think I've actually met you. I don't think I've met you before, have I?
Nope, Fatal.
Yes.
This is Biter. Biter, Fatal.
I'm sorry, I don't have my Blue Yeti under the fritz microphone. That's why I have to use my Turtle Beach. Hello, how are you doing?
Heyo. I'm also using my Turtle Beach because that's
Yeah.
always what I use.
Okay.
broken talking about games here.
Video games.
Yes, I was just dissing the Pokemon franchise and being yelled at. It's an overrated game. Come on.
Yeah, we have to agree with you on that.
Thank you.
Overrated for a reason.
Eevee is also best Pokemon.
Holy shit, the cuteness overload.
She turns into like 500 different kind of evolution forms. Every time they add a new kind, they have to give Eevee a new, cuter form. I love it.
I never really got people's likes for EVs until I actually looked a little bit more at the Pokemon people. I mean, I played it when it first came out and kind of saw the games for the same thing over and over again, so I kind of stopped. So
See?
I didn't really
You're
know about
pretty
this whole EV craze. I liked Noctowl
I only have.
How?
and Hoot Hoot.
Oh, Hoot Hoot is pretty good, but I only
I
have
have no idea what you're talking
Pokemon Green. That's literally the only Pokemon game I have. Pokemon Green, Leaf Green.
I had Pokemon Yellow, Red, Blue, and Green, and I hadn't finished the yellow one, and I actually lost my collection until a yard sale, in which my first generation Game Boy. You know, the big yellow one, kind of like a
Yeah.
brick. Apparently, it got sold for $1 along with all my games, including 3 of the Pokemon games never opened. Which is horrible, because while they are overrated, people will pay big money for that kind of stuff. And they were sold for $1, including my Crazy Castle. I love that game. Yes, I know it's a piece of garbage. I was a little kid. It entertained me. Come on, who doesn't? Who has not ever wanted to crush Tweety Bird? Tweety Bird is kind of a douchebag.
Sylvester.
Sylvester can go away too.
Sylvester.
Oh,
Yes.
I hit myself with the remote.
What?
I was playing around with a remote and I hit myself. Oops.
I ran out of tea, and I have no more tea bags. I'm so sad.
Me and Fatal have another meeting for the term. Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you and your fans of APSs.
FPS.
What's an
Okay, FPS.
It's an
Here's what happens
FPS
in
term.
FPS. If you kill someone, sometimes people run up and will hit the crouch button over the person's head
Yeah.
over and over again. It's called teabagging.
Okay.
It
I don't
proves
get
you're
it.
better. It proves you're much better than the other person by a
It's essentially dry humping the other guy with your pants on.
Ew. Gross.
That's what FPS guys
It was big. It originated in Halo 2 first, and then it came to Modern Warfare,
Right.
and it spread out through all the first-person shooters.
Actually, I thought it was around since Counter-Strike.
No. That didn't.
Yeah.
Well, it swiftly moved to Counter-Strike.
No, as far as I'm concerned, it's like it was probably popularized in Halo, but I think it really did start like back in the 90s.
That was a long time ago.
Although that brings to question how the hell that first started. Like, what, am I just gonna run up to this guy and just hump his face?
Yeah, that's probably how it started. Be like, hey, if I crouch over this guy's head, it looks like my bones are in his face.
It's like, hey,
Yeah.
dude, watch what I'm gonna do to this dead body. Watch.
One thing about that is like I haven't played Counter Strike, but I thought with the Halo, I mean, yeah, I was around when that became popularized, and the thing about that was I think when you die, the camera stays above your body, like it just looks down at your body as explosions and stuff goes on. So the idea is if you're nearby the guy you just killed, you
can
hump
see
them and they
them.
see. Yeah, you see them doing it. It's not just for your own gratification. The person who just died is
It gives that
humiliated.
humiliance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why kill cams are so popular for that reason.
Especially since whenever I go on Black Ops 2, I love Black Ops 2, but problem is that I don't touch anymore just for the stories. There's so many trick shotters. God damn it.
Well, do you get a sense that you feel like an inferior marksman just by watching them trick shot?
No. The problem is I get good feeds with the ballista, but problem is I have no idea how to trick shot, and they keep on shocking me. My whole team sucks so bad, and they get eliminated. I'm the last.
No, usually, here's my philosophy when I'm like playing Halo or something. I see that my team sucks, so I join the game, and then I make them not suck by picking up the slack. And I totally did that one game of SWAT where,
I remember.
totally did that one game of SWAT where I joined in late, and it was like up to 60 kills. I got 32 kills, and we were down one guy.
Yeah, I do that, but it always gets frustrating because they don't actually stop sucking. It's just you're carrying their dead weight, which is sort of for me. Like, yeah, I could sometimes I come in at a good enough time, and yeah, I manage to win it by myself on SWAT. Other times, it's like the other team's pretty good, and like they're just dying like flies. So I managed to catch up, but the enemy team still win by like 5 or 10 points.
Yeah, it's like there's only so much you can do before you realize they're deliberately avoiding you and just going for your teammates.
The
pretty much.
the problem is that never happened to me because I would always be in second, third place.
Oh my God.
Like my team was always moderate. Like
Oh my god,
no
someone
one
has
really
made a
sucked.
Fluttershy Rocks game app where you basically just dress up Fluttershy in her rainbow-fied form, or rocker form, whatever you want to call it. I'm sorry, I am looking through game ads right now, and there's a Pinkie Pie one. I bet there's one for all the main 6. Hold on. I need to see.
I mean, this is not about games, so that's not bad. It's
Yeah.
games.
At least when you talk about carrying the team, the thing I can respect for Halo is that if you're good enough, it'll let you be good enough. Like there's no what I mean is that like something I will criticize, and I'm gonna get a shit ton of flack for this because I'm gonna be tipping a sacred cow, but there's Team Fortress 2 where I always get the sensation when I play it, I don't feel that I've won because I'm actually better than this guy. I felt like it's because my pyro is the rock to your spy's scissors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well
It's more like rock, paper, scissors.
That's why I play medic and still try and kill people without expecting it.
But you know what I mean, right? It's like if I kill the spy as a pyro, I don't feel like it's because I am actually a better player than this pyro. It's just because it's rock paper scissors sort of game balance where I have a horrendous advantage over a spy as pyro just by default.
I just stay a sniper and pick off some some scouts and pyros just way back. I just stay back with the sniper. That's all I do.
Yeah,
like
but
Soldier versus Demo, for example, like both of them sort of turn around and enter a big, huge room with lots of areas to go to and cover and stuff. Like, I don't think necessarily either of them have a huge advantage. Like, the Demo, they're different play styles, and if you play them right, yeah, you're going to be able to kill other players. Like, the Spy and the Pyro is like the most, huge imbalance, but like the Spy is also like got a huge imbalance against everyone else. In the sense, he's behind somebody, he backstabs them, they instantly die.
yeah, for the most part, like it tends to vary. Like if you're a heavy or a sniper, then like assuming you're a sniper that doesn't have Razorback, well, even if you have Razorback, usually a sniper just whips out his pistol, and especially if it's an ambassador, then he's got you. But if it's like a sniper or a heavy, he's got a huge advantage on you. But if you're like a scout or a pyro, then you've got an advantage on him. Like overall, the idea is work as a team. You're supposed to cover everyone else's weaknesses while at the same time completing the thing. But there is a definite rock paper scissors sort of balance to it.
They all have different play styles to it, I think, is the best way to describe it, and that you're not necessarily, you will have an advantage over someone else who does have whose play style or class is different to yours in certain circumstances. I don't mind though the actual local tactics. Instead of just the tactics being, let's just try and shoot at one another and see who has the better connection and aim. It's who is going to manipulate the surroundings, teammates, and so on to get the better of their opponent. In Team Fortress 2, there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of mechanics to be used in a tactical level that is really interesting. That sometimes is locked down if we're comparing it to its other more straightforward shoot and insta kill shooter brethren.
Yeah, like I'm not saying that there's no nuance to TF2. Fatal. We're getting some weird background noise from you.
Oh.
I'm not saying there is no nuance. I'm not saying there's no nuance to TF2. I'm just saying part of it. I do feel that there is that rock paper scissors thing is there. It's just that no one talks about it. I'm not saying that compromises the nuance that is there though.
But it's not like some of this is fully utilized. Like, there's not a lot of players who do utilize that kind of strategy.
What do you mean? Or what strategy are you talking about?
As in, rounding out the whole team.
Yeah, I will admit there are some teams where it's if you're in the TF2 gaming community, you will notice a lot of things like our team only needs one sniper. Please play medic. Or
I notice a lot of times that alright, it's the bomb carrying mission. Both of you have to push a bomb along the map, right? And it's quite a lot of direct confrontation. Standing by your bomb, raiding their bomb. So, alright, it's a team of 7. I'm going to just quickly select medic because I'm always like being a team player, and I then, as at the spawn, I find, hey, look. 4 snipers and 3 spies. Oh, and there's one heavy,
Yeah.
so
Oh my
I
God.
just start healing him. So, yeah, all the snipers just they get bum rushed by the enemy, like by one pyro just kills them all off, and the spies will start creeping around, but they don't really do anything. And it's just like they all know you're either sitting at the far end of the map trying to snipe you, or standing right next to you trying to backstab. Like they know what your plans are. If you're all sniper and spy, you're going to be hard countered.
Yeah,
So yeah,
like
it was.
like one of the most useful pieces of advice for a new spy is actually your disguise is not fooling anyone, which is something to point out. Like a good spy obviously knows this, but like yeah, like it's a big important thing that your disguise isn't going to fool anyone. Everyone will spy check you. Like just an
Anyone
aware
who's worth their
engineer.
damn.
Yeah, like even like in a like sometimes I'll play as a spy when if the situation calls for it. I've essentially tried to master 3 classes, which are usually spy, um, engineer, and pyro, just for whenever the situation calls. And I do a little bit of medic too,
Mm.
when the situation calls for it. But I've noticed playing as spy, even with ideal equipment, because I'll switch between loadouts if one isn't working. If there's an engineer who is like completely head on a swivel and completely aware, and especially if he's got that southern hospitality wrench, then it's impossible to get to him. Because the moment he hits you with his wrench, you start bleeding and your disguise fades off, and then of course his sentry gun spins around and kills you.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah, but that's him being more or less a good player. Quite honestly, if I'm fighting an engineer, I usually opt to be a demo man.
Yeah, that's usually the good one.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
but
the
another,
classes I play are everything except spy and sniper. Like I can play them and have done fairly competently with them, but I just find there's never an opportunity for me to do it and really help the team. So instead, I always just play the classes that are always needed, and I can do all the rest of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like my favorite class is usually the engineer. If situation needs be, I'm usually like even in offensive maps like the bomb carrying one, I may whip out a couple teleporters and set up a little like outpost with like the mini sentry.
Mm.
And I've got different loadouts for ideal situations. Like I've got a Jag loadout in case, okay, this needs to be defended, but it needs more than just a mini sentry, so I can speed out a sentry, or my entrenched position one where I've got Southern Hospitality for spies, big sentry, and I've got the Widowmaker standing next to a level 3 dispenser, so I essentially have unlimited ammo. I find that works. But anyway, the other thing I was going to point out, because I originally started this out with the rock paper scissors thing, was that and carrying the team. There was something in Modern Warfare 2, and I know Fatal probably knows what I'm talking about, and no one liked this, or a few people liked it. It was the nuke kill streak.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. The reason I didn't like that, there were some people I really did respect for getting the nukes. You had to work really hard. But then again, there was those people in the back with noob tubes and one-man army.
Well, yeah, it was more like or worse, marathon
Like,
commando,
how
marathon
far
commando
you can
lightweight.
wait?
Like, I
How
don't know.
patient are you to get as many kills as you can?
Well, it's not
how
just
good you are.
patience. You have to wait inside certain locations. There is a certain skill set to it, but the other thing though is that it's like you could be playing capture the flag, you could be losing, and then all of a sudden the enemy whips out a nuke.
Yeah.
Then they win.
It's a mercy kill give up button.
Well, it was the situation was a sort of I knew this well in Modern Warfare 2 that I would join in with an absolutely terrible team who were getting themselves slaughtered in like Rush, wasn't it? The one where you have to attack and defend and have 2 bombs. And the idea was basically single-handed I would be able to defend 1 bomb during defense, and during attack I'd be able to attack both bombs. But during all of that, my team were getting absolutely slaughtered back at base over and over and over again. That was why I used the cold-blooded on that. I didn't ever really care for stopping power. I always used stealth and guile. So I snuck behind the enemy lines, planted the bomb, killed the few people who could run back from my spawn to try and disarm it, and I'd destroy all the bombs. So I would basically win it from my team because of how incredibly awful they are. But what they would do is sort of, they go, oh, I see it, this spider dude is like basically one-man armying, not the perk, just by himself, being a one-person army, winning it for his team. And they just waited till the very last round. Were like, yes, it's 3-2. I'm just about to win this for my team. And yeah, then they whip out the frickin' nuke, and it's like, oh, all that time you've been killing my teammates over and over and over again, kind of just give
nothing
a win.
Yeah, it's always satisfying though when, especially in the FPS, which kind of allows for this, is when you go one-man army, but you actually you seriously do end up on top. Like I've had moments where I've been playing with friends, and then midway through the game, they would say, "Okay, everyone, turn on either." And this happened to me 3 times, or actually maybe Star.
Yes?
You're humming a little too loud.
Oh, sorry. Didn't realize I was humming.
That's fine. And they would all turn on me, but then I would still end up winning just because I'm apparently used to being outnumbered. I did have something on my HD PBR2 test when I first got it. Uploaded this to my channel. It was Halo Reach, and you have to admit, when you pull a one-man army, you have the best.
You have the game in the clutch of your hands.
Well, it's not just that. You just feel incredible because, especially if it's Halo Call of Duty, because everyone is mostly on an even keel. So it's not just rock paper scissors. It's you are legitimately better than the other guys for the most part. And yeah, it was a Halo Reach for like 2 minutes. I did hold off the entire enemy team with a sniper rifle, and I have a video of this, which, if you guys don't believe me.
Well, the thing is about that is, the thing is with the game balance is like with TF2, if you have a terrible team, even if you can sort of pull a bit through, but the game's really about having a balanced team, really working it out, and it's really frustrating when you are on your own with a terrible team because basically you can try and complement your team the best way, but you're still kind of screwed. You need everyone to be on form. In Call of Duty, it's you can be like there's ways to exploit the game, and it's very easy to sort of be a one-man army in that, or a lot easier because it's very quick kills, and there's lots of really weird combinations of powers and things you can do. I found though with Halo Reach and the Halo games though, the balance is, if your starting equipment is absolutely terrible. The assault rifle and pistol isn't exactly much.
Then
the game is only you're really only got a chance if you're carrying a power weapon to really defeat multiple opponents. A sniper rifle actually does require you to actually hit the headshots, and it feels more gratifying than say the rocket launcher. But it's effectively the same thing.
Yeah, I know. I know for Reach and 4, well, because I did play those avidly, they did work out the balance better so that every weapon is, for the most part, is almost on an even keel. It depends on your playstyle if it works for you. Because there was even a moment in Halo 3, and I remember this because there was a kid at the rocket launcher, and I was relishing him screaming about how much of a hacker I was, and I managed to kill him with the assault rifle.
Yeah.
It was a really satisfying feeling.
Squeaker smash.
Yeah, you can often ambush the guy and basically put it in the situation that if he fires the rocket, they kill each other. You both kill each other. But usually I find a rocket launcher will either result in the guy winning or mutually assured destruction.
Yeah, it's sometimes it works like that.
Unless the guy's stupid and just fires all the rockets off and misses you, and then you just laugh.
Yeah. I am sort of infamous in Halo, and people found this out that I'm just like this in Call of Duty too. I tend to stick people if I feel that either I can't stick you, or if I feel that you're just about to kill me, I'll just whip out the grenade and be like, haha, I killed you. No, you didn't. But
Sorry.
there was
Yeah, the thing is though that Halo isn't exactly. I mean, the thing is about the game is grenades or stickies are just instant game changers, and the way about it is sort of how lucky you are, or how what game changes you can really throw at the opponent to give yourself an edge. Like Halo is hardly ever won by a gun. I mean, that's sort of the thing, though. I find if you're all starting with assault rifles, then you have to just sort of team up with your buddies and try and run to the power weapons and spam grenades. You know, that's the game.
yeah.
Otherwise, you start with just BRs. You know, battle rifles, designated marksman rifles, and then everyone's got a killing weapon at all ranges, and then it's just shooting each other and trying to balance, standing in the open, firing, giving as much damage, but not getting down to, zero shield and being instant headshotted.
Yeah, like I will admit, the DMR is probably my favorite one of my favorite range weapons. But I will admit that with Reach and 4, they did actually fix it a bit more so that the weapon system is a bit more balanced. Like I've noticed in Halo 4, my tool of destruction is actually just the assault rifle and the Magnum. That's my default loadout, and I've actually used that with a resounding success, and that's because they've actually balanced it so that it's actually worth picking up, especially for mid to close range.
I liked at least that they gave us all the the backpack powers, like sprinting and whatnot, because that really does change out how you can play and what kind of equipment you can start with. That is really helpful. Like some people can just like sprint away, flank enemies. Others can be stealthy and whatnot. And I like that because then you completely can change and adopt your playstyle a lot more.
Yeah,
like
more
Halo. Yeah.
Yeah,
Whereas
like
the other Halos, you couldn't even select. Well, before that, you couldn't even select your class, so you just started with an assault rifle, and you're like.
And then you were basically stuck there with like whatever you could find around the map. You were stuck there. You didn't have much possibilities.
Yeah.
But I remember probably one of my greatest team plays it was actually for the Halo Reach beta. Me and my friends all got together over Xbox Live and we were playing, and he's carrying the flag, and one of them got the plasma launcher, and we're on Sword Base, which has all these levels. So the dude's charging up. He's like, shit, like because both of his brothers are dead, and it's like shit, everyone else is dead, and he's firing the plasma launcher. He's gonna get me, and then I'm like, no, he's not. I jump over the railing, land in front of him, absorb all the grenades, and then activate armor lock.
Oh my god, no! You were one of those people, were you? God.
Yes. I descended from on high, absorbed all the plasma grenades, activated armor lock, and we actually managed to score that round.
Oh my god. No, why?
Armor lock was such a trolly move.
It was. At least they fixed it with the solid light barrier, where it doesn't make you invincible. It'll just, for a limited time, it'll allow you to take frontal damage, but you can still stick someone's foot or something.
Yeah, it was always just like, oh, I've been stuck, and they just, at the moment the grenade explodes, they just tap armor lock and instantly ignore the damage. It was just sort of, hey, in a game where you're throwing like big, huge FUs at one another, someone just has the ability to ignore it.
Yeah, and there was, what else was there? Yeah, it was essentially stuff like that. The assassinations can be kind of cool. I know some people will actually use glitches to skip the assassination sometimes, but I did do just like jumping off the high rail. This was also in the beta. There was someone saying, watch out, someone's got the flag, and I have the other flag. I'm standing above them on a railing. So I jumped down and I blind tap the melee button, and I managed to assassinate him. It's like, wait, Stuffy's got the... Oh, wait, never mind.
Yeah,
for me though,
I really changed over.
It's always fun to be the MVP, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I found Halo does have the opportunity, particularly if you've got a power weapon, to really just solo it and defeat a whole team if you use your equipment just the right way. But more often than not, I found it was sort of, generally speaking, if I was put into with a bad team, the enemy would always win all the fights and steal all the power weapons. And my team would all die, and then it's just me against a team all loaded up with the best weapons against just little old me with the starting gear and no grenades.
Yeah, it's I know some people have been able to work their arena because some people, let's be honest, there are some of us who really are just that good where you can give us a pistol with a half-empty magazine and somehow we can exterminate the enemy team, but...
I mean, I was still, yeah, I did have some really great moments where I used my own skill at subterfuge and guile to, take a guy out in the corner of the map, take a teleporter to the other side, and then start stalking the enemy and doing the objective behind their back. But more often than not, I just found, they find where I am, they all rush towards me, they've got all the powerful weapons, I instantly die, game over.
For me,
Yeah.
that only happens to me if I get lucky, and that's very rare. I just play it. I barely escape with a positive KD, but I do go for the objectives. I do get a few, but only if I'm lucky. I'm one of those people, or I'm one of those areas which you have to. It's very dicey, I should say.
Yeah, like sometimes I will have
Yeah.
funny moments. Like there was a moment where I had a sniper rifle, and I believe this was a custom infection game in Halo 3. Someone said, "Hey Peter," and I'm like, "Yeah." Turn around. So I turn around, and I have the sniper point at head level, and I just fire, just for no reason. And I managed to hit him in the head when he could have easily just like shanked me. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, thank you for the headshot."
I think I did something like that. I can't remember. I think it was actually when I was playing a Halo 2 zombie mode. Like someone was doing that kind of trick. I turned around and meleeed him.
Luck. I do love it when that sort of thing backfires. Just because they're so certain, and they could have done it like seconds ago, but it's always so satisfying to see that literally blow up in their face.
See,
Yeah.
that never happens to me in multiplayer. I always made the big custom game whole maps. That's where the whole fun originated. That's where the crazy stuff happens. That's when the funny moments happen for me. I don't know online, but in custom games, I'd spend hours on making huge maps, provided for my friends, and we just play, laugh. That's basically what we did. That's where all the laughs came in. Now, multiplayer was when I was feeling competitive, which was a lot, but not much. But what were your opinion on custom games like Forge? Did you guys like the Forge option, or did you not approach that?
The last thing I remember really doing for Forge, because I didn't really use it in Halo Reach, and I didn't really use it in 4 just because I wasn't too interested. For 3, I had a game mode called God. And my idea was I made it so that only the party leader can edit, which was me. I'm like, oh, we're going to play Forge, and he's like, wait, I can't turn to a monitor. And we're on like a suspended map, and he's like, that's because I am God, and you must do what I tell you to, mortals. And then I just crushed him underneath a big block. You will all worship me now.
I think we used Forge to generally, like, I can't remember the game name. I think it was a Fat Boy.
Oh my god,
that
yeah.
one.
Where you had a lot of layers of shields, and it would just take like 15-20 minutes of pure gunfire to just get him down a few layers. Yeah.
Yeah.
But probably with
I had the best strategy whenever I was Fat Boy, and I was quite often Fat Boy for some reason. And that was like, the Fat Boy always sort of just is supposed to walk through the level slowly, and they just keep spraying you until you die halfway through. Well, I'm just not going to move, because there's no time limit. I'm going to win eventually, guys. So they just stand there spraying at me for 10-15 minutes. I go off, have a coffee, and some idiot, some idiot walks close up to me just like, oh, I'm going to play with the Fat Boy, he's not moving. And then I just kill him. And then I'm like, and then I get on the mic and then start taunting my minion, just saying, "Go out there, my minion, kill them!" and then there's this bee just standing there. I don't move still, and one guy constantly respawning and dying, and dying, and dying. And he's like, "Move!" No, I'm Fat Boy. I'm staying. So, and what happens is that guy does eventually get a kill. Somehow, or I get another guy, and what happens is I just play the whole game not moving a foot. Like I just keep taunting and sending my minions forward.
Yeah, yeah, there was always something fun that we did with Infection. It was I'll just call it custom classic Infection. It was where humans are normal, but the zombies have like 50% gravity and 300 speed.
Oh yes.
That
Ugh.
everyone sort of played that game, but the only modification I made to it was the alpha had a battle rifle as a secondary. Well, because you would always get that dick who's like hiding in that one spot no one can get to. So I'm like, you know what? Let's throw a curveball into this. Now the alpha has a battle rifle. Just for when you're a dick, the alpha can be a dick too.
I started back playing zombies in Halo 2 and COD 2, and this was before you had like custom games where you could actually set the rules. So, like in COD 2, for example, everyone starts on the ally side, and they can only use pistols, and one guy has to be German and only use melee. And the funny thing in that game is like the melee is absolutely terrible, but the pistols start with no ammo. And you have to, when someone gets killed by the zombie, you have to yell at them to change or kick them if they don't.
Oh god.
Oh
my-
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Um, there. What was I gonna say?
Those. Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's better when you have like enforced rules and everything of the sort. But
There was sort of a charm back in those days of those old games because I think that was the same for Halo 2. You start with just a pistol, and everyone's just walking around normal speed. So, like, the thing with the super fast zombies is, like, they all rush in, you spray them out of rifles, they all fall down really quickly, and it's like, it's just sort of over so fast. It's kind of like, I don't know, playing Left 4 Dead 2 but with a minigun. Just
Yeah.
tons of zombies charging at
I
you
know,
and you hosing them down. With Halo 2 zombies, they're all actually walking normal speed. So like if you find like a big room and they're just all walking slowly towards you, but you've only got like 16 shots to start with, like 16 kills to your name before you have to try and engage them in close quarters.
yeah.
And it was really sort of tense because everyone like bottled up in one room and shot the zombies as they came in. But if you like a zombie got in, he would just slowly walk around the room chasing you. That had a great tension to it.
Yeah, there actually, believe it or not, 343 actually added a recent game mode that's been really popular. Where I forget what it's called. I think it's called Containment. I could be wrong. Where the flood walk around at slightly faster than normal speed. You walk at normal speed, but the flood have shields now.
Oh.
And the thing is, so your shields take about 90 seconds to recharge. And also, they require enough ammo that you cannot just shoot them in the head and they die. They have shields now, and despite their slower speed, it does take quite a bit to kill them. And again, you can only survive 2 melee hits, and it's actually rather even because this guy could easily kill you before you can get the kill shot off, and that one is tense. Like I'll say, like having played that enough times, that is a really tense flood match.
I always stuck to SWAT, that team SWAT. I never was the one for Infection.
I would sometimes stick with I sometimes preferred big games with shields like Big Team Battle, but I did like I forget what it's called, the one where you secure the bases, but if they secure all 3, then everyone's in last stand.
Oh, you mean HQ headquarters or?
I don't know what it's called, but I do remember some really tense moments there where at first we're completely dominating them, but somehow they managed to capture all 3 bases, and I recall one of them on Exile, where I was the last one, and I'm capturing the middle base, and just before I die, it says, base captured, hero. I'm like, yes!
Did any of you guys? Well, I'm an old veteran, so it's like I played Lava and what was it, Jenga, and what's it called? The Top Tower. It was a really cool map. Like there was this back in Halo 2. There was this like tower in the corner of the map, which had a machine gun post on it, and basically that machine gun post, like you had no health. So it would just mow down anybody on the top surface who appeared, and like that guy would get hundreds and hundreds of kills. And basically the whole game was like, just basic TDM, but there's a tower with a machine gun in it, and everyone wants to be in the tower because the tower gets, a bajillion kills.
Yeah, like there are times where I think I remember that map because I did play some of Halo 2 online. I was even playing during the last day it was online.
Mm.
Um, that was cool. I think I may remember that map. I Now what I do like
Has the
about
rotatey weirdy thingy in the middle and like some grav jumps on the sides. So it's always kind of funny. Like I think we had a situation where someone used the grav jump and landed on the rotatey thingy and then started annoying the machine gunner, and he didn't know who was shooting him.
yes. Um, yeah, there was sometimes though where it's like even those positions that everyone wants, it was always fun to have these sort of epic battles where you'd seek to control them. Like I know the map Narrows from Halo 3 didn't really have that. It was that map with the bridge. It was essentially just that big bridge, and um, we weren't really fighting over anything. We were just essentially fighting for control of the middle bridge, and we lost that game. But that was probably one of the funnest games I've ever played. Like there was, I don't know what the X factor was for that particular game, but it was like, like everyone was everywhere. You got this like good like sensation that okay, yeah, this is real loud. There's no one camping. Everyone is up on the front line doing something.
I think it was Halo 3 that they released a DLC map, which was like an indoors one with this 343 giant one of those up in the ceiling.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was a cold storage.
Yeah.
Cold storage. I remember with that one, I made it quite a popular game. It was only popular mostly in our circles, but I can't remember the name. It was basically though, they added in the light things, and always with those light things, what people do is, they put all of them on, so it's just like black
Can't
and
see
white.
anything.
Yeah, so
Blur. It's
Oh.
horrible. I hate that too. But what I did was I thought, this map actually is kind of dark already. So what I did was I made darkness and contrast, I think it was.
Oh god.
So and then I turned it into I made the rules that the zombies were black without any shiny kind of weapons. They're supposed to do melee only. And I made the map kind of a bit more confined, more walls, more stuff like that, and more ways of getting around, and it basically turned into like a survival horror.
Yeah, that's actually pretty damn clever. I'll give that to you.
Yeah.
I was kind
I
of
found though the funny thing was like, well, it's kind of an interesting survival horror because I think what it was I said ammo is scarce and there's weapons randomly scattered around the map. So the idea was, you don't just start people often like to camp, and even with a BR with 2 clips, someone can if everyone runs to this corner and camps with it, then they'll be sitting there safe for a long while.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember what it was. Like the first zombie had a hammer. That was so funny. So you start with like 16 people in the place, and one's black zombie in a dark corner with a hammer, and everyone's running around trying to find weapons because you only have your starting magazine. So, and there's a lot of dual-wield weapons. So, a lot of people liked using the dual-wield plasma rifles. And the zombie's slow, so the zombie is creeping around, stalking people, and anyone he captures, of course, turn into other sneaky zombies. And it was just sort of really funny, just running around the map, frantically finding weapons in this dark, dingy cave place, where just all of a sudden you would hear, from the sledgehammer, and you're just like, oh, ah! And it was someone got killed on the opposite side of the map. And eventually it would turn into like a kind of, in the end you turned into, I turned into this kind of, the shrieking woman going, ah! As I run around the map, picking up random weapons as hordes of zombies slowly walk towards me with hammers.
Oh my goodness.
that must have been fun.
Yeah.
What was it?
Oh god, I suppose that much actually.
Something I do like though was something that Bungie and 343 picked up on with Action Sack was that it was kind of that zany randomness that you would get in custom games, but you could play it in multiplayer now.
One last thing about my survival horror thing was the best strategy actually was not to play. and so few players figure that out. Like I think I was the one who invented it, which was basically I spawn and then I just crawl into a dark corner and just hide.
Oh yeah, did you turn the reticle off?
That's not fun though.
Yeah, I turned the reticle off.
Okay, yeah,
it,
that
it
works.
is quite funny though, like calling out to your teammates, "Hey guys, I saw the zombie just past me," or you're just there, like all your friends have died and now it's just you, and all the zombies are running
They're
around.
just frantically trying to search.
Yeah, all the zombies are running around going, "Where the hell is he?" Boom, boom, like they're just searching all the corners. And you're like,
Eventually
"You're
we'll
not gonna
find
my
you.
corner." Yeah, they always find you in the end. It's a small map. It was just sorry, it's just the last thing I wanted to say.
And I had no idea what you guys were talking about.
Oh, we're talking
But
about.
like the fact
Hey, I've also been hanging around back
no
here
idea
along
what
with
you
you,
guys were talking
Starlight.
about.
So
I'll say this before we potentially change the subject. One of the most satisfying achievements to ever get in at least a recent Halo game was David versus Goliath.
Oh yes.
The most satisfying thing I ever did in scare a character so bad he killed himself.
Yeah, there was if you're wondering though, the achievement was you have to fight a mantis on foot and win. But I think you can't. I don't know if you can use a power weapon though.
Really?
Yeah, I managed to get it without a power weapon.
I just had a bunch of frag grenades that I used to spam, and then like to pick up some of the guys. I just used my battle rifle.
I think I used a. I forget what I was using at first. It was either an assault rifle or it was a sniper rifle. But I used the grenades to take out the shields, and then I think it was already damaged. So I finished off with whatever rifle I was using.
I always had luck with the battle rifle because 3-round burst, and frankly, even though it did have little ammo, I could control where the shots went. That's the main problem I have with a lot of weapons, either if I die, because I can't control the bullet flow, so if I have a triple burst like the battle rifle, I moderately did good.
Yeah, usually I use the DMR. Nothing against the battle rifle, but there's just something I like about the DMR.
What I used to do, I don't know why I did this, this did make sense, but at the same time it was at a slower rate. I had the assault rifle, which kind of, in Halo 3, the assault rifle, I wanted to use it moderately, I didn't want to spray and pray. So I always had a plasma pistol to take out their shield and then finish them all with the battlefield rifle. I always did that because I was Halo noob. I thought, oh man, I'm gonna play so tactically. These guys are gonna think I'm so good. But then I realized, okay, maybe that's not gonna be that good. Maybe I should just take out the shields entirely with the assault rifle.
Yeah.
I remember back in Halo 1, I loved using the plasma pistol, both in campaign and in multiplayer. And then it just turned into the, like, I remember in Halo 2...
shooting an actual sniper's rifle.
The sniper rifles. Well,
and then in Halo 2, I went to dual. I always liked, just when I was really bored, just like going dual plasma pistol and spraying it at someone.
Oh
just
my goodness.
Rapidly pressing both triggers and going ah.
It was always better when you
Like,
won,
oh,
though.
what?
Like, haha, you got defeated by plasma pistols.
Yeah, I did.
was-
I think I did kill some people by that because they just were so surprised I was trying that.
I
Victory by
used
audacity, yeah.
dual magnums a lot in Halo 3. Halo 3, I did hate the magnums, but I wanted to be moderate with all the weapons. So for a long while, for like a month, all I would use was dual magnums, and what killed me most was the fire rate.
Yeah, well, in Halo 2 it was always toned down. Like, I know in 4 you can master it enough to the point where you can actually do some pretty impressive stuff.
Yes.
But the funny thing about some of these weapons was that I love the railgun. Like, if I can find the railgun, I will always pick up the railgun. I remember in my early times when I was still trying to master it, it was like, I would get these impressive kills, but completely by accident.
Completely by accident.
Yeah, like, I'll see a guy jetpacking, and he's, like, trying to kill me, and I'm like, oh no! And the round is almost charged, and I'm like, I don't know, several inches, it's like the reticle's like several inches below and to the left of where it should be. And then at the last second, I just miraculously get it on its head. I'm like, oh my gosh! That was a complete accident. Then I turn around, there's a dude with a sword. I'm like, oh gosh! And then I kill him. And I'm like, that was a complete accident too.
I do find the Halo hitboxes were rather forgiving. To be fair, like the thing if you think this was back, if you remember, when I was in Halo 2, like lots of people were quote unquote trick shotting, like spinning around super fast to press the trigger and kill the dude. Um, but what people did, because like they wanted to prove how skillful or unskillful it was they took this footage, very high frames, that is like 60 frames per second, and took all the frames and showed there was no single frame where his thing was on the guy's head, and the trail where his bullet came from is nothing near his head. And it was just like, but it just gives the headshot away anyway. And sometimes I had that feeling a lot with Halo, that the actual headshot is ridiculously tough to get. Like I do know some game that you have to be ridiculously accurate to kill someone. But in Halo, it's just like it's so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's getting off topic, but we have been on topic. I'm
Yeah,
surprised with us all.
Do you want me to
Great job! I applaud you all. Great job.
Do you want me to, there's something I did want to bring up. That was kind of something like a slight subject change.
Dad,
Have
stop.
you guys
I'm
played?
trying to play.
Have you guys played Spec Ops: The Line?
Yep.
I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up something. It's like a something
Sorry, I'm trying to play this.
Something I noticed about it though was you kind of want to continue playing it, even though the point of the game is to like try and shove this traumatic stuff into your face until you stop. But the thing is, though, my inner mental masochist was just like, the game would be like, "You're a terrible person." I'm like, "Yes, tell me I'm a terrible person."
To a degree, like it's interesting. Sort of, the situation is a lot of times, like in a video game. I just, as an example, have you ever sort of like someone gives you like a really pointless like quest, or something like a gathering mechanic, like I know this game here has a crafting system that isn't worth a damn, but I just can't stop gathering the items.
Yeah.
And the thing is, a lot of times games do condition people to, do certain things in them that we're just so used to in a shooter game, shooting all the people who are pointing guns at us the first instant we see them, or in an RPG, just instantly just accept any quest and do everything in them, because in the end, all that happens is you get XP and rewards. There's no real consequences to it all.
The game does pull all the right strings, though. It's like it does set you up to think that this isn't supposed to be, in a sense, the real world. This is just video game land, where anyone who's dressed like a terrorist is totally a terrorist. You know what I mean?
The game starts off, if you think about it, it starts off with the ridiculous shooting down tons of helicopters gunfight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just to shoo you into the, this is just a typical third-person shooter, nothing too special.
Nothing special here. Just play along and shoot your enemies and whatnot.
Yep, have fun, you monster.
Yes.
We'll explain that later.
Well, yeah, because if you went around in real life smashing a bunch of frogs with a hammer or killing a bunch of rabbits, people would get really mad at you. But in video games, they give you money.
But yeah, we get this, but it was like this was for the military thing, because there isn't really a big controversy about that as there's like armed military conflicts, or at least it doesn't bring the same. Like, yeah, that would be a controversial thing, but it doesn't really have any commentary on real life to play Mario and like, crush a mushroom thing.
I think, there's interesting commentaries one could make. It's hard to really, this is all talking about how the thing is spoken to its audience, or what they try to speak, and that's kind of a difficult level to speak on. I could say at least that a lot of our modern military shooters are filled with militarism, adventurism, was it? Where they say, the military is always right, we're just going in, stomping the terrorists, we're doing a good thing.
But in reality, it's not.
Well, there's no such thing as a black and white conflict. If you look through enough military history, besides what your government-funded history class is obligated to tell you, there's really almost no such thing as a black and white conflict. Even World War II, we like to paint it as someone quoted it as the good war, when that couldn't be further from the truth. We did questionable things, we just never bothered to tell you about them.
Yeah.
Winners get to tell the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Spec Ops: The Line, though, at least, I think it came in the right time in the right place because, the situation is that modern first-person shooters are very popular and they're always like evil terrorists, good NATO nations, or America, usually America rather than NATO. But this one, of course, has instead, it's like, hey, there's a foreign situation going on. There is rebellion, there is insurgents, there is, discord, chaos, and everything else. But that doesn't instantly make your team goes in thinking that they're the good guys by rushing around and killing the people trying to rescue the civilians. But all the interaction with the system makes it worse, as it should do. And I think it's just in the right time in the right place where this game makes a commentary on those other games. Or at least it makes a contrast to it, which is why it stands out so much more to us.
There's something really interesting, and I know a lot of people like to diss this series, and I think part of that has to do with the fact its multiplayer reputation, and that is, believe it or not, like Call of Duty doesn't go into the consequences. It's no Spec Ops: The Line, but something I did like about it was, if you actually bothered to examine the stories of both Modern Warfare and Black Ops, there really wasn't a good guy. Like, the entire point of like Black Ops 2 was that the U.S. is also guilty of things. In fact, Black Ops 2, all the Cold War missions are like heavily controversial things that the U.S. has done.
That
bit it in the ass, like the Mujahideen mission, which eventually formed the Taliban. Missions in Nicaragua, which the U.S. did kind of make worse. Interesting things like that. And even in Modern Warfare, it was kind of like.
Your guys do shoot, like, they interrogate the main leader guy after you track him down, and then shoot him dead when you're finished with him.
That's part of it, but I was referring to the big thing about the U.S. in Modern Warfare was that they're ultimately the ones who did start World War III, but it was kind of interesting. You have the grunts and like the Marines, Delta Force, and everything like that, who have no idea what's going on. They just think this is a world war. But then you have General Shepard and Shadow Company, who are the real masterminds behind the war. And they completely started because I think one of the writers said that they based General Shepard off of Osama bin Laden.
Wasn't like, Shepard, isn't he Modern Warfare 2?
Yeah, he started World War III.
Stab him in the eye, don't you?
Yeah, he started World War III, and Captain Price and Soap go in to try and stop him, and all your enemies there are Shadow Company.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
You said Modern Warfare 1, like, I thought,
Modern
sorry. Warfare 1 is, the fairly straightforward, just, hey, Russia has kind of got crazy people in there, and they want to fire nukes, kind of thing.
At least they did add some diversity to Russia in Modern Warfare 3, where they do point out that in both games you have the Russians who are trying to maintain the government of the Russian Federation, the other one's trying to, get rid of it. And at least in Modern Warfare 3, you do play as a security officer defending the president. You get killed at the end of your mission, but yeah, you do get to see a little bit of the other side of it.
I think though, like, the difficulty with the Modern Warfare, like the later Modern Warfares at least, is just sort of how ridiculous all the set pieces are. That any crazy things you're doing in them just sort of kind of dribbles away. Like, Spec Ops: The Line does sort of have its, it does also have its ridiculous bombast, but sometimes it's kind of, you're supposed to actually question that, is the game's direction. Like,
I'm not saying
all these people isn't actually supposed to be the norm. It's supposed to be, a terrible act. Just shelling this area is a kind of a cruel act, and a kind of impersonal act. Doing that's sort of the thing that it pulls those ridiculous, like, the ridiculous things are a consequence of the player more so than necessarily the world about it.
I'm not trying to say Call of Duty is like Spec Ops: The Line. It really isn't meaning to do that. I'm just saying there are finer points to it, like
Yeah,
suppose
it's
action
just it's that
movies.
presentation that I was trying to describe that really does matter. That
Yeah,
Spec Ops: The Line does really put some really questionable choices in front of you, and really has to make you think about them. And everything is that you do in the game is so. I mean,
it's
you
always
have to walk
terrible.
forward and do it.
Yeah, it's always terrible though. Like it doesn't matter if you pick A or B. You're a terrible person, no matter just in a different way, depending on which one you choose.
Kind of. I mean, like early on, there's the was it the CIA is interrogating that soldier guy, and you can either shoot the soldier guy because before he runs away, or you can let him go. Now, the only difference here is if you shoot the guy, that's kind of whoa, you're kind of just shooting your own men now. But if you let him go, then he sticks more men on you, like a ton of men, and the only you let him go, and the other people are horrible to you this time.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, they're all what TV shows refers to as sadist choices, where it doesn't matter which option you pick, something horrible is going to happen, and
Oh
it
yeah.
whatever horrible
Yeah.
thing happens is because you didn't do the other thing. So there's always some weight on you.
Yeah,
But
it's just like with the Modern Warfares, at least, you're guarding the president guy, but the other people are really attacking him, and the whole plane falling apart stuff and being killed at the end by the betrayal kind of stuff is sort of, that's not on you. You're just shooting mooks, and you
yeah,
don't really have anything to think about, and you don't really have any agency in it. You're just there to shoot the mooks. But Spec Ops: The Line is incredibly deliberate when it gives you choices.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I know Modern Warfare 2. It didn't necessarily give you this as a choice, but someone did put in a demotivational poster how to know if you're a terrible person, and it showed the controversial no Russian level. It's that
Of
you
course.
shot, yeah, you shot. No one told you to shoot them, but you shot them all anyway.
Oh yeah.
Hey, okay, how you doing?
Yeah, like hey, Lord Weaver. Um, but something I did appreciate this, and I suppose I should be comparing this more to action movies, because action movies are a lot more likely to portray like the whole USA/NATO or whatever are the good guys, and like Russia, Nazi Germany, terrorists are the bad guys. At least that was something I kind of did like about, and I may be a broken record at this point. I did like that about the Call of Duty series. There really was no good guy when you actually broke it down. Um, So I would say that actually video games about these conflicts possibly have a more mature outlook than the mainstream movies. Because a mainstream movie, similar to in the vein of Call of Duty, would just have had America is good guy, USA, USA.
Yeah, I haven't really kept up to date with the more recent ones of the Call of Duties. Usually, I found the tone of it though was you're a soldier, and unfortunately, it's sort of like usually the game is about following orders, not about choice. So. In the end of the day, it's always sort of, if you're a soldier who's been ordered to do bad things, you're just doing your job. Like soldiers are, unfortunately, they have to be obedient. They're trained to be obedient, and you as a gamer have only really what the game. Like, I felt in the Call of Duty games, you always just have to do what they tell you.
Yeah, the only
It's not. There's no canonical kind of. You start the first mission and you jump off the helicopter, and instead of walking towards the building like they ask, you just run off the map and then go off and start a pizza burger business.
yeah, like
Yeah, you
the
would
only
be
thing,
terrible
like
soldier.
the only thing that got really close to that was Black Ops 2. And again, it's not Spec Ops Line, but there were moments where you legitimately had to make choices, and they would impact the story. And the most profound one is at the end, where you have um, Raul Menendez. You have him pinned to the ground. This guy, he's just like everything about his character. He's oddly sympathetic for a villain, because everything about his backstory, like he's the enemy of the U.S. because of poor U.S. foreign policy, and the game makes that very clear to you. And at the end, he asks you to martyr him for Cordestia, his like army, and you can choose to kill him or to not kill him. Um, but if you choose to not, like either option you choose puts a bitter taste in your mouth, because this guy has done he's still sympathetic, but he's still done some pretty heinous shit. So it's like if you kill him, you can kill him, but then Port Dia completely overruns Washington D.C. Or something like that. And if you spare him, it's kind of like he did all this horrible stuff, and you feel almost as though you're letting him off easy.
I had
But
no hesitation of putting a bullet in his head. No hesitation.
I take it you never got the golden ending then.
I actually played through all the endings, but the first time I ran through, I definitely killed him.
I don't remember the Black Ops campaign. I played through it a few times, and it's all gone from my mind because it's sort of so okay.
Yeah, like I'm not saying they were brilliant. I'm just saying that there's more to them than what the mainstream
Then what I can
hipsters.
see.
Well, there's more to them than what hipsters dismiss them as. Is what I'm getting at.
Okay,
yeah.
then I should leave then.
Well, no, we should probably move on to RPGs now because or
RTS.
or RTSs. Yeah, we can do that too. Yeah. So should we go on to RTS now or RPGs?
RPGs.
All right. Don't worry about it. We will get to RTS. I'm sure.
Hmm.
I have to say, I'll probably say this just for reference. My favorite RPG isn't Mass Effect. It's actually KOTOR. Knights of the Old Republic. Yeah, Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, cool. I've actually been playing. I bought that on Steam and been playing it through recently.
Yeah. What do you think?
I've only got so far through with it, but I don't know. It's kind of linear. It's basically the D&D system and feels kind of clunky.
Yeah, like I should ask, what part are you at?
I managed to get off the first planet, and I'm now doing the training in the next place.
Oh yeah, after that you're free to choose this. You're free to choose this what planets you go to after that, but then it becomes a little less linear because then you're given more freedom.
Yay! Took me long enough.
Yeah, Zara, after you get the Jedi powers, you have a list of planets and it says find star map on.
And yet a lot of games do that. Just wait a bit and then you'll get your freedom.
Yeah, because they have to get the tutorial stuff out of the way first, but...
Yeah, it depends on how long the tutorial is.
I've got to the temple and I'm 18 hours in. Though I did an initial playthrough of 2 hours and kind of got bored and stopped, and then picked it up again.
Yeah.
And I'm always, when I do an RPG, I just do everything.
Yeah, so you were doing all the side quests and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited that BioWare is in terms of Star Wars games, they're working on a new Star Wars RPG, which I'm pretty excited about. I just hope that if they're making,
I think it's the MMO they released.
Yeah, I'm actually still pretty pissed at them for that because they made it. It's essentially a self-defeating concept of a story-driven MMO. If it's a story-driven MMO, well, why don't you just release it as a standalone game?
It doesn't really make sense when you emphasize story in an MMO.
Yeah, it really doesn't make sense because all it does is make an excuse oh, you want the rest of the story? Well, pay $15 more.
Yeah, not only that, you can't really call yourself the destined hero if there's I don't know, a million others just like you.
Well, it's not like that.
Plenty of MMOs have done that where they have their own story. Where it starts off with you being the destined one, and it is always really silly when you just go into this big giant theme park area and just find, oh, I'm not really impacting the world in any way, but and there's all these other these destined heroes to save the world running about.
Yeah, it's
I do like a patronizing angle to it though, just hey, all these people tell me the destined hero of the land. This is actually all tosh.
Yeah, it's oh no, Fighter, I'm about to be staggered by this boss. You need to help me, I'm the destined hero. And it's don't worry, Peter, I am also the destined hero. I will save you.
Well, you can always go the way of Suikoden Coden when there's the 100 or so stars of destiny.
Well, yeah, but it's kind of there's no point to it. If the selling point of the game is the story, then make it a proper game. Don't make it an MMO because MMOs emphasize grinding. There should be essentially what I'm getting at is there should be a reason it's an MMO, and just story is not.
There should be a reason it's massive, as in massively multiplayer.
Because almost none of the story missions actually require you to be with anyone. you could literally just rip out the online portion, rip out all the players, and you'd still have the game, the reason to play the game. So it's like I was pretty
Yeah.
pissed at Bioware for that, and their horrible free-to-play system. Like you cannot even put on your helmets for free.
Oh
That
boy.
is how bad the system is. Oh, we lost Fatal.
Looked like he had to leave.
Oh,
He
no.
had to leave, and by the way, Commander Conquer is his favorite RTS game! Exclamation mark.
And yeah.
Yeah,
No, he should
that's-
play Total Annihilation for Subcom.
yeah. Anyway, yeah, that was my thing about that's my piece about Bioware is that they should just stay away from the MMO thing, because if you're going to make a game with a good story, then make it a proper MMO, or not a proper MMO, make it a proper RPG.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a kind of, I don't know. I think I've had a bit of experience with BioWare. Like I remember playing all their old games. So yeah, I've been playing KOTOR. I started with Neverwinter Nights, I think, with them. But I kind of have a love-hate relationship with them, where it's like I kind of like sometimes your stories, the characters in them, but I also find your stories are shallow and dumb, and your characters are really kind of one-dimensional, and I'm not really role-playing.
Yeah, I should probably ask then, what's your opinion of Mass Effect, since everyone seems to love that series so much?
I quite enjoyed it when it came out, but looking back at it, it was sort of I liked the first game kind of for just picking up this sci-fi game thing. I didn't know what it was. Oh, it's a Bioware. I kind of remember that name. Oh yeah, look, it's got all this sci-fi world to it. It's kind of cool. I mean, the combat wasn't that great, but I did like the ideas in the world and a few of the characters in it. I didn't really care much for my character though of Commander Shepard. I just the gameplay was really
Oh,
set.
I finally finished setting up my Skype account. Sorry.
I always just kept clicking. I basically just chose the top option all the time for Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, and the final choice. And people keep asking me, oh, what did you choose for the final thing for Mass Effect 3? And I was like, I chose the blue one because I always choose blue.
It's like I'm supposed to be like the nice hero of the land, so okay, well the game's leaning towards
I
this.
just look up at life.
Just
or
look
something.
up.
Yes, I just keep choosing the top option, and I like blue.
Okay, all right.
That's my character motivation right there. I like blue. I choose blue options. It's not the top option.
That's one
Yeah,
way to
it's-
go through it.
Yeah, but there's the thing that I think Yahtzee pointed this out for Mass Effect. It's like I suppose the game expects you to be like compellingly thinking through the difficult choices, but he pointed out that some of the people were really only picking a choice that gets X in bed with them.
It's like, what will get this chick to sleep with me?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what was almost his line verbatim.
That's what you do on dating sims.
Well,
yeah, Mass Effect
but
has dating sim elements to it, I suppose.
I guess, but really doesn't really have that to it. But the way that I played Mass Effect was just like, what would I say in this situation? I'll be an asshole all the time. It works for me.
I actually on an earlier game. Do you guys know Jade Empire?
I've heard of Jade Empire. I've never actually played it.
Mage was really keen on that game, so we both did a play. Like I played it, and she watched me play it, and it's like nostalgia for her and first time for me. And I think what I did that actually had some capacity for role playing, and I actually quite enjoyed that because at the beginning I called myself Lister of Smeg, and
Lister of Smeg. Huh?
yes, it's this Asian setting, which is kind of why Lister of Smeg is. I really globbed onto that name and that character. Just basically a random basically Dave Lister from Red Dwarf, but in an Asian setting where he turns out to be like the chosen one who is there to kick everyone. And yeah, I chose like a really slow kicking style that was all about kicking people. And in conversations, I found it was really odd. I think it was just the way they did it. It was all text. And you got like 5 or 6 different options every time. And there was always a question. So Listerous Meg only slowly kicked people and always made sure to ask questions, regardless of the consequence. Like, it was just always that, someone says, "What are you doing here? Why do you ask? How are you?
I'm
Why?
going to kick you.
I'm going to kill you! Why would you want to do that?" And it's always just sort of like, "Hello, I see you come into my shop. Who are you? I am me. Well, what do you sell? I sell this stuff. Who are you again? Stop asking me that." and that was Listerous Meg. I really liked the chance of role-playing in that, just because the game writers always seem to have questions that they wanted to give you a chance to ask, so Listerous Meg would always ask them, regardless of how stupid they may be.
Yeah.
It was always just like, also when they say, "You're the chosen one." Who? Me? Yes, you. Why am I the chosen one? Lister, just be the chosen one. Why am I the chosen one? Shut up, Lister.
Take advantage of it. That's what I do.
Who else is
Yeah,
the
be
chosen
like,
one?
"Oh hey baby, I'm the chosen one." Yeah, that line works on all the girls.
Yeah, that gets all them bitches. Yeah.
Yeah, all the girls in the short skirts and long jackets. Sorry.
That's my field, at least. I hang out around the Japanese RPG territory.
Well, you have a hat, so.
What does that have to symbolize with me playing Japanese RPGs?
You have a cool
There's
hat?
always hats in Japanese.
You can change hats, but that doesn't mean that I wear a hat for that reason. I play them because there's good reason for... I like story, so that's why I do play them a lot.
Hi.
Hey Fatal, welcome back.
Sorry, I had to go.
Don't worry. I wasn't paying much attention to the first half hour of the podcast anyway, so I was trying to get my Skype up. Now I have viruses on my computer, so now I have to run my virus protector. I hate pop-ups. Don't worry, I have an awesome virus protector that will kick them all away. Yes.
Yes.
But I have to turn off
So
my
has-
computer for it to work, so I'll have to do it later.
Somebody asked me a question.
No, I was saying hi.
So go on
I have
earlier
a
on.
question for all of you, actually.
Okay.
What were we talking about before I joined?
I was actually going to talk about that, just like the BioWare games like Mass Effect. Who has played here? I have, Peter, I presume.
Yeah, I played.
Yeah.
I've never actually beaten
I've
Mass
actually-
Effect, but I have 3 up in my room.
I actually have no idea what you guys are talking about for like the last hour. I have no clue what you guys are talking about. Something about fighting games. Honestly, I don't see the point of shooting a gun in a game when I can just go out and shoot my own guns.
Well, you don't die.
Yeah, and you can actually shoot things that aren't made of paper and not get caught by jurisdiction of the
Dude, the
law.
best thing to shoot is things made of metal. They make a ringing sound. I love it.
We don't have guns here. I just have my video games.
Yeah, Biter can
Oh,
just
that's
use like
sad.
throwing knives, or I don't know. Maybe if he wants
Oh
to
my
be really
God.
creative, Biter can whip out forks for self-defense, and he'll be like,
I was
"Stand back!" and then he'll like throw them like shurikens, and then
Oh my god. At the Renaissance Festival, I managed to hit the frog in the heart 3 times with the throwing knives. I was so super happy.
Okay.
okie doke.
I want a cool necklace.
What was the enemy here?
Starlight
Well,
started a call on video games and then said, "I don't need that combat stuff that's in like most video games. I just throw knives at frogs' hearts."
Yes, let's go back to Journey Quest. Because as we all know, you just need to be a sneaky thief and throw knives at people in order to defeat giant sorcerers. Because in Quest for Glory 3, I think it is, you throw the knife at the sorcerer, it breaks the spell barrier or something, and the guy falls off the tower. No? Nobody else has played Quest of Glory. I'm the only old person here.
I might be saying something similar to this. If anybody, with the topic of knives, does anybody play Assassin's Creed, or is it just me? Assassin's Creed, anybody? Or does nobody know what that even is?
I know
Assassin's Creed, isn't that one where you're an assassin and you have to protect this girl after you killed an old friend of yours that was trying to protect her? And
Something like that. Of course, there are different evolutions after every game because one takes place in Constantinople, another takes place in France, another takes place in America, early America, 1800s.
wasn't Venice or Italy, I think it was.
Yeah, there was.
Yes,
I think
Yeah,
that
that
was
was Ezio.
that
or the
is
second one.
Revelation.
Second one.
Actually,
Personally, I like the Revelations. Or wait, has anybody here actually played it or
I know the story of some of them. I just remember that for Assassin's Creed, I think it was 3. Was it 3? It's the one where you play as Connor.
well, yes, that is a third one.
Yeah, that was that was the one where it's like I found the story to be kind of like because I've never really played any Assassin's Creed sans like the beginning part of 2, but then I lost interest in it because I bought it on impulse, but then I just returned it later because I was trading things in. But that's beside the point. I found Connor like I believe the complaint that he was kind of unlikable, and the thing was that it was like it just took the Revolutionary War and said, oh, every time the rebels succeeded, it was because Connor was there, and I'm just like, something you did that to an unlikable character for one thing, and second, that screams like
That's like fan fiction.
yeah, that's like
blasphemy!
that's
That's
like
why I loved it.
that's a
That's
Mary
why I completely
that's like a
loved it.
Mary Sue thing from fan fiction. It's like, oh, you really love this thing so much. Oh yeah, it's because my shameless self-insert was there to ensure everything went off without a hitch.
That's why.
Yeah, like the Canterlot wedding. Everything went off without a hitch so easily, didn't it not?
Because Raven Blackwade Levenger was there,
Hmm.
who is totally not my OC.
With the Assassin's Creed games, I have never actually really bothered to play them much. They've never
Well,
really looked like my kind of game. I do like looking at them and saying, "Hey, look, there's actually a game out there that models these old, time cities and places." I liked it doing, Crusades, Constantinople, and Venice. But the whole kind of sequel after sequel after sequel and half-assed made-up plot is kind of silly. Like, the second game ends with you basically having a fist fight with the Pope, if I remember, and it's kind of like it just keeps going.
The boss battle for the first game, first level. You must finish your fist fight with the Pope.
Well, it's really weird. Like the end of the second game is because I've seen spoiler warning of it. Let's Play channel that started ages ago. But basically, you have a fist fight with the Pope. You defeat him, go into this chamber, and then aliens talk to you saying, "Hello, you don't really know what this is about, but the future Desmond, the guy who's doing this all in the future, he'll hear this, and here's some random bit of information for him."
Yes.
Like I beat up the Pope for this. Just a random alien telling my future descendant, who's going back in time, to hear a minor kind of cliffhangery detail.
Yes.
I have a
Well, at least you
question.
got to beat up the Pope. So.
Yes.
Okay, is it weird that I only eat sliced pickles with chopsticks? Like, out of the jar? Like,
No, it's not
Question
bad.
is
I
why.
don't know why or how you started with just using chopsticks.
because it's,
Something
like,
wrong.
it's hard to get the stupid pickles out of the little pickle jars, and chopsticks are so much easier, Like,
I have to
forks, you
agree with
stab
that,
the
yeah.
pickles and you always get more than one. So, like, with the little pickle jars, it's just easier to get the pickles out with a pair of chopsticks. Well, why put them in a bowl? Like, just use the chopsticks and eat them out of the jar.
You got a point. You've
No
got a
one else
point.
eat pickles.
I like pickles.
I don't eat
I'm
pickles.
sorry, I just started this because I'm eating pickles. Hopefully none of you can hear me crunching.
I think you're good.
Yay. Yes,
So
I'm
yeah,
randomly eating pickles. It's my
so
dinner.
the Assassin's Creed games have interested me in their setting, not the gameplay, and definitely not the story.
Oh God, no! Those were horrible.
Yeah, I played the first two Assassin's Creed. Like, I played one and I got excessively bored by it. It's like I felt like I was doing the same thing over and over again, and nothing really interested me to kept me going. And two, I was a little bit more interested in, but yeah, I've been kind of split on that one. Like the game,
Yeah,
but
Do you
the
guys
story.
think
do you
Disney
remember
will
the
ever make
fair?
a decent game for like one of their movies?
Disney gave a
Like
movie.
Disney, like they release video games about, their movies. If they do well enough, they always release a video game. Like I had Aladdin for my Super Nintendo. But like the thing about Disney video games is that they almost always sucked, whether for bad graphics or because they usually have horrible controls, or they're just insanely difficult and don't make sense.
Okay,
It's
the
Like,
only
Almost like
the only
Pokemon.
Disney the only game of Disney characters I really ever enjoyed was Kingdom Hearts.
Yep.
We always had
Yep.
Kingdom Hearts.
I didn't play the game. I have the manga, so.
Yeah,
Oh
like
yeah,
I've never
because the
played the
manga
first
will be
game,
the same.
and the only other game I played besides that is 358 Days Over 2.
And
But yeah, like I know what's going on in the story, and it kind of has some of the convoluted, hard to figure out stuff about it, and kind of like that. I don't think it's as bad as Assassin's Creed 2 because at least there are other more redeeming parts about Kingdom Hearts. Like there is a certain craziness to it. At least the gameplay is pretty damn fun. There's other
yeah,
parts to it, but um, I,
yeah,
yeah, I,
it's
I don't quite know how to describe it. At least it's like cool. I just hope that Disney will let Nomura put Star Wars in it now.
good.
well, I don't know. I don't think Kingdom Hearts really counts because it was kind of a video game that they kind of just sprinkled characters throughout that they have licensed. But like the actual main character of the game isn't actually a Disney character. It's like a guy fighting with a giant key, right?
Yeah, but you're still in like Disney universes and everything, doing things.
Yeah, and you feel like you're actually playing a role within those Disney universes.
Have any of you ever read that book series where like it takes place in like Disneyland and stuff where like these kids like get turned into like these holograms and like they have to try to save the Disney parks?
I've never heard of this.
I never.
I read one of them in middle school and it was like the weirdest thing ever. I'm sorry, I'm getting you guys off topic.
Well, don't we usually do that with every podcast?
Yeah, it's probably my fault that we never stay on topic.
Now that is not correct. A
Yeah.
lot of people are just so like off top. Like they just join the podcast and then they just like randomly butt in a lot. That's the people.
Should we
Guys,
I was gonna say, should we move on to RTS now, or
I don't know what RTS is, but go on ahead.
Yeah.
that's if only that's fine with everyone here.
Yes,
I don't mind.
and
There's lots to speak on RPGs because that's something a lot of people play and stuff.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
didn't we like have an argument on Pokemon before?
yeah.
Yes,
we did.
Yeah.
Pokemon is overrated.
And yet I am the one true fan of Pokemon probably out of this whole podcast.
Hey, I love Pokemon. I was a hardcore fan of it when I was little. I had all the original cards, all of them, including the mystical birds. I had all of the first generation Pokemon. I owned them in
I'd like-
card form.
I'd like
Yeah, but-
four
But
shiny.
they all had sleeves, and they were all in this little book I had, and I sold it because I needed money. And
But I
I
stuck
outgrew
with all
Pokemon.
6 generations, and I will admit that the gameplay hasn't changed a bit, but there's always something that just keeps me going back into those games.
yeah, it's easy for you to beat after so many times of playing them.
Hey, they do make changes gradually. As minimalistic as it can be, the greatest thing that I did have with the Pokemon games was the experience that I always get out of them. Like, as much they always throw something new into the table that I always manage to eat up.
Wait a minute, they actually turned a table into a Pokemon?
What the hell? What?
No, G5. The designs for G5 were absolutely terrible. You might as well.
Hey, I did not like Generation 5. I
He
will
might as
freely
well have
admit
taken
that.
those household appliances and just thrown them into the game, saying, "See this chair? It is a Pokemon."
Here's the trash bag Pokemon, by the way. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
the only one I really enjoyed was Litwick.
Yeah.
I like
Quick,
Litwick.
get the refrigerator Pokemon, and then you can get the
Who-
side microwave.
By the way, Biter, Litwick was a candle
Okay.
with a cute little face on it.
Yeah, and he turns into a chandelier.
Silly.
Yes, he really does turn into a chandelier.
I think my feeling on the Pokemon thing is it's sort of at the core it's it's a journey through a world where there's all these creatures to find, and it's kind of interesting in that regard. Like I do like the initial journey and
Okay,
building up your power level. But the actual gameplay is always just the fighting with the monsters. And I don't know. I think it's always interesting in a new game. Always, there's the thing that can come back where it's a new world, there's new Pokemon, and you get to do the same journey where you build up your power level again, and do beat the Elite Four again, and you're overcoming challenges and getting all the little carrots along the way.
Exactly.
Okay,
That's
have
why I
any-
do play it.
Has anybody else heard that rumor or like that suspicion that Ash actually became paralyzed after that first electrocute shock from Pikachu, and he's actually in a coma?
That's a creepypasta.
Wasn't Zero Punctuation basically he riffed on Pokemon when he actually did do a review on it and said I like to imagine it's all just the twisted my character's twisted imagination, and I'm just I'm fighting with random animals in a sack against gym leaders and not hobos for badges, and the image shows the hobo lift up a can.
Yeah. That was funny. But it leaves me willing to actually stand through a lot of these. I do appreciate the adventure of it, mostly.
Yeah.
It takes me back.
I do have. I think me and Rage were talking about this. It was just a silly idea, though. I do want to see it done one day. Is basically okay. It says you start up the game and it's Oak saying hello, welcome to the land of Pokemon. There's many creatures here, and then it's like you go into his place and there's 3 Pokeballs. You click on the Pokeball and it says in this Pokeball is a Magikarp, and you go to the next one, Magikarp, next one, Magikarp, and yes, Professor Oak was just lazy, and he got 3 level 5 Magikarps. and then the idea went further that your rival, who will be named Magikarp, I guess, picks you pick one, and he says, "I'll pick the one that'll beat you, Magikarp." And then of course you have to have a battle.
Just have a battle. It's a splash fight until one of you hits struggle.
Yes. Whoever faints first after exhausting like 15, 30 splashes.
I think it's 50.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes. And then the other funny idea we had was just imagine then, not only that, all the Pokemon in the world are Magikarp.
Oh god!
That would be awful. I hated Magikarp. Because of all
So,
the
like,
was cool though.
You walk into the grass outside of town. Dun, 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 a Magikarp appeared.
That reminds me of something I saw on the internet. It was a picture of some girl who was allegedly from Canada. It's like, here's a picture of a little girl and she's holding a fish who bravely saved this fish from drowning. It's holding it in her arms, like standing over a grassy field.
And just sort of my imagination then went off like, how would a Pokemon journey work if it was all Magikarps? Because
Well, you'd only have to catch one to have them all.
Oh, he's got
well,
a point.
no, you need to, like, if you want to try and get through the whole world and challenge the Elite Four, like, all the levels are still the same. So, like, later on, you'll have trainers who will, have the exclamation mark, and they'll challenge you with, like, a level 15 Magikarp, a level 10 Magikarp.
Well,
Well, if they're
Magikarp
level
do
15, he
evolve.
knows tackle, so
Yes.
yeah, you're boned. If you're
Yeah.
only relying on splash and struggle.
Well, what did they evolve into a Gyarados? What happens then? Or do they not evolve at all? Or
I wasn't sure about that because that would be really interesting. Like, all of a sudden, like you just got little Magikarps who know only tackle, and maybe one who knows surf. That's a rare one. Like, instead of getting a HM, you get a Magikarp that knows surf, but it's a move you can't use in battle.
what? Guys, wait.
And then
what?
you're fighting Gyarados.
What if there was a shiny Magikarp?
Is it even worth collecting?
Very gold one.
Yeah. It's just sort of funny to me though, if if in this world, or it's just another part of the Pokemon world where the only Pokemon there is Magikarps, and they're still just as obsessed about Pokemon as the rest of them. So like everyone's just training, and there's gyms with Magikarp, and there's just Magikarp everywhere. And it's like, guys, it's just a freaking flappy fish that's not even that good. Calm the frick down.
Like a freaking cult now.
I just want to travel to the other end of the world without somebody challenging me to a splash off again. It's due time.
Oh god.
Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all.
Magikarp.
I caught one. Woohoo! I've caught them all.
Gotta catch 'em all, Magikarp.
Magikarp.
Oh my god! Did you guys know that they are the actual translation for Pokemon is Pocket Monster?
Yeah.
Also, yeah,
I'm gonna be a Pokemon master.
I did look on the internet for like people who might have done like Magikarp stuff, and unfortunately there isn't that much. Though I did see one video where it is just basically, I think it pretended to be the Elite Four, and your final confrontation with Gary, and it's like, yo Magikarp, and then he goes, go Magikarp, and then it's just them splashing back and forth and repeating continuous trains, and then the really good twist was that Gary said, go Magikarp, return. Go Ditto! Transform! You splash! Yeah!
Oh god. Okay.
Wait, what if it was a world filled with Togepi's though? Oh, can you imagine how annoying that would be? Togepi!
Hey,
Everywhere.
Togepi's can fight and can use metronome, so
Yeah,
a very
but they're
random
wimpy
world.
little babies. You have to baby them constantly. They're like puppies or cats. If you turn your back on them for 1 second, they're going off a bridge or something.
Instead of doing Pokemon movies, they should just do a Pokemon movie where all the Pokemons are Magikarps, or maybe another one where they're all Togepis. Just little shorts where all the Pokemon are different, one different thing. So like, Ash Ash goes home to Professor Oak, and there's just Togepis everywhere, and he's going insane. Ah, there's so many Togepis.
No, it's
Okay.
You gotta get the pitch. Because that's what's the really annoying part.
Togepi.
Have to get it in there. It's like squeaking like a
there's
mouse.
one manly Togepi.
Oh my god.
That's how you tell the males from the females.
Yeah. Oh my god. Favorite Pokemon.
Mew.
Okay.
Gardevoir.
Mew is a good Pokemon.
Noctowl.
I always like Squirtle. Because he could do
Lugia.
bubble.
I like Lugia the best.
Oh,
Nobody loves
funnily enough,
Mew.
for my first ever Pokemon game on Blue, I took a Squirtle, but I never bothered using TMs. So at the end, like I had a level 100, I think, Blastoise who knew Bubble.
Could you like one-shot people with it because you're like level
Yes.
100?
Yeah.
One-shot
Did the Elite
That's
Four
the
with Bubble.
glorious thing.
He just owned the Elite Four with Bubble. Blastoise, use Bubble.
God, I love the bubble attack. It was always so pretty. God, you remember how they looked in the show? They always looked like rainbow bubbles. Oh my god. Do you think squirrels could turn into rainbow-colored princesses?
Wait, what the?
Because the
No.
bubbles
What
always
does
had
how
rainbow
does-
reflections in them.
Okay, how do you make
I don't.
Squirtle into a rainbow prince? Okay, I'm confused now.
The rainbow effect. Remember the keys. All squirrels'
yeah.
bubbles always had a rainbow reflection in it. That means they learned a lesson about friendship. They can turn into rainbow-colored princesses.
Squirtle. Squirtle.
I did find it funny if like I would do link ups with my friends, you know, one-on-one battles, and it was kind of funny because they would use like the candy glitch to get their Pokemon to level 100, but you know your Pokemon are actually inferior. They didn't really know that, and I trained them up properly. So it was kind of funny that they would laugh at me because like you know their guy just uses Hyper Beam on Blastoise and he takes a bit of damage, and it's like wow that didn't do much, and then I select Blastoise uses Bubble. And they're like, what? You still know Bubble? And then their Pokemon faints. Yes.
Yes, what of it?
Yes. It was so awesome.
Although the bear Pokemon was always cute. I can't remember what his name was.
I knocked out because it's an owl, and there's not that many owls. And I really like using, like, I played on the Pokemon MMO, and I had some really funny battles with that owl. Like, it was one of my leading party members. I think what I gave him was, like a Confuse Ray, Hypnosis, and Attract, and Peck. So what happened was is that I would confuse the enemy, make them love me, and then put them to sleep.
That's
And then
horrible.
peck them on the head slowly to death. And when they wake up, they still love me. And they're confused.
Hold on.
You can't really get. I mean, I guess there could be a Pokemon out there that could be better. It's just I love this really attractive owl that's doing something really confusing to the enemy, and then they just fall asleep, and it just walks over to them and pecks them. Best ultimate battle strategy ever.
Sesame-chan made a comment, but it's not showing up in the comment section. I don't know why. But in Pokemon Station, I had 6-on-6 Dittos fight once. My favorite movie game are Star Wars, Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, Jaws, and I can't see the rest. So I don't know why.
I haven't heard of that game.
Okay. I am confused. I don't know why his questions aren't showing up on the video.
I don't
Let's
know
see.
either.
So, for
And he asked,
RTSs, would
how drunk are you? Okay, we have not been drinking Sesame-chan, or at least I haven't. That's not nice to ask. We are actually staying on topic for once. Leave nice comments, people. Nice.
You should congratulate us. We should
Like,
get gold
I
medal.
have Gamer Brony, who says bravo for staying on topic.
My brother!
Nice.
You did good. I love you, Attacker. My brother.
So I was wondering, would Civilization count as RTS or just normal strategy?
No, that'd be RTS. Like, my favorite RTS game is Command and Conquer. I don't know if anybody has heard of that, but...
I have. I don't really like it.
Oh.
Has anybody ever played those games where, like, you have to take care of puppies or something? It's called, like, My Pet Shop or something?
Yes.
Like, is it just me, or are they kind of weird?
Yeah, it's not weird. I have Nintendogs. I think they're pretty cute.
But why have a fake one when you can have a real one?
Because
It's like
money and actually, is it like a real commitment?
yes, and plus I can get my puppies to run a whole can be in the championships, state championships, for athletics.
I would like to kind of participate in it.
Well, yeah, I mean it's a whole virtual universe for puppies. It's cute as hell.
Sesame-chan says he's sorry about the drinking comment.
Okay.
We still love you.
Yes. And
I do remember having I think I remember ages ago getting like the first ever few kind of dog things where you just had the dogs and stuff, and it was mostly fun just using the really silly toys that you could instantly spawn and just like filling rooms with them. I think what we did was like the dog didn't like a kind of, I can't remember what it was. It's like a Jack in the Box or something that created noises and moved. And me and my friend, we had no greater pleasure than just filling the room with this toy and watching the dog just go crazy, like running her towards a ball, just going, ah, it's a ball, and then, ah, I'm scared, ball, and just, you got a room full of toys and food and random junk, and the dog just goes crazy as the AI tries to figure out whether it should be scared, frightened, happy, sad, or just it just keeps. And I think it also had it like the dog would trip up and stuff on toys when running to other toys. It was just so dumb.
Oh my god, that's killing me. That's killing me.
did anybody else hate the Harry Potter games that they released?
The
For,
fuck,
like,
there
the
were
movie?
games of them?
Yeah, there were
Yes,
Yeah.
and they were horrible. Like, I still have yet to actually finish the game that I have for my DS. I think it's like the Goblet of Fire or something. It's like,
Ooh.
I still have not been able to defeat these things. They are insanely hard.
Yeah, I remember getting it on PC, and basically, like, there was so many, like, instant death traps and stuff and horrible things, and it was really hard to do. I remember I had
the
great
death traps I
difficulty-
could handle. The worst
No.
part was, sorry.
I just wanted to say that I remember the one thing I remember from that game was like the first class I went to, I couldn't find it, and eventually I found it, and then I had the hardest class, which was like it has a shape on the screen, and you have to move your mouse around on it, but you have to do it in a certain time limit, and it's a really squiggly shape. So like, you have 2 seconds to do this, like a really complicated, follow the line thing,
Mhm.
where all you've got is a fuzzing mouse thing. It's not even a proper mouse. And I just remember failing that over and over and over again. This is like the first spell I have to frickin' learn. I was like, "Argh! This is so annoying."
Yeah, but that's not even the hard part. The hard part is, did they have to make the castle full size? Which is awesome for exploring, but God forbid you have to find something, which you have to do all the time.
Yep.
God forbid you have to find something and then be like, oh well, I want butterbeer, and there's only one person in the entire castle that has the butterbeer, so you have to go around talking to everybody until you find that one person that either has the butterbeer or the one person that knows where the person with the butterbeer is. And it's like insane. And the worst part is, they didn't have to be this complicated. I had the Sorcerer's Stone for my computer when I was little. Loved that game. So, like, it was awesome. It wasn't the easiest game, but you could play it. That was the problem with the Harry Potter games. Like, for PlayStation 2 and for DS, they're unplayable. Like, you'll just get to something where, like, I've been trying to look for Luna's dress for, like, 3 months, and I've still been unable to find the stupid dress. Or is it the butterbeer to trade for the girl for the stupid dress? I don't know. We've lost people.
Yes.
Aww.
Harry Potter scared them away.
Yes.
No.
Scary
I'm
British
sorry.
magic people.
Sorry, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. Like, I have Hermione's wand.
Speaking of which,
You might want
apparently,
to use that.
according to J.K. Rowling, the Battle of Hogwarts in the 7th book or 8th movie took place on May 5th. I think it was May 5th, 1998. And she posted a tweet that says, "Moment of Battle of Hogwarts, and today was the anniversary of Battle of Hogwarts, or 16th anniversary. I had a moment of silence over my keyboard. I hated killing off those characters." And George R.R. Martin posts tweets back replying, he's like, "That's cute."
Okay.
Or you
Like,
were, if you
She
guys
only
get,
killed off one character, didn't she? She killed off.
No.
no, she killed off a lot of them. But do you guys know who George R.R. Martin is?
Nope.
Wasn't he?
He writes Game of Thrones and A Song of Fire and Ice.
Okay.
And the reason why is because that series is famous for killing off like all of its main characters, and he seems to And it's become almost an internet meme that he will kill all the characters and all your favorite characters, and it's just
Okay,
like a big meme.
I'm starting the after chat, so that means I'm just inviting everybody on my list.
Okie doke. I may leave soon now.
You can keep talking now. All it means is that I just invite everyone. You can talk about whatever you want now, too.
I was going to say, I do remember playing the Harry Potter game on my Game Boy. I think it was a Game Boy Color one or something. And it was really like, top-down square kind of game thing. And I just remember wandering around confused, not sure what to do. And the annoying thing was sort of, the game gave you lots of spells, weird names, but you only had so many power points for each of them. And I didn't know really how to regenerate my health or power points. So what I did was sort of I think I went wandering around outside the school and kept bumping into random encounters with like shoes and rats. But I ran out of power points and all my powerful spells, and just had to slowly use my weak spells. I think basically my canonical story for Harry was, he stumbled around like in the underground place of Gringotts for a while. He came to Hogwarts, talked to a few people, helped them out, and then stumbled around the school and outside before eventually being bitten to death by a rat. Because he ran out of power points for Swidgly Widwiggers made up spell number 257.
Yeah. The Harry Potter games were weird. Like, and half the time you feel like they didn't even really follow the storyline. It was like they kind of like just like before you go to bed there'd be cutscenes.
Yeah.
Or like dialogue. Like, Harry, I can't believe you missed your fight with Draco Malfoy. Like, I remember that one, because that was on the computer one. Now, that was a fun fight. And, like, you basically threw fireworks at Draco Malfoy. That was it. You couldn't throw any spells, and so, like, you just picked up a bunch of stuff from the Weasley shop before you went down to the battle and just started throwing fireworks at him. That's how I beat Draco Malfoy in the
Yeah, I do remember doing something like that, yeah. Just chucking things at him. It's just like, this feels weird. Okay, whatever. This is all I can do. Chuck.
Because I ran out of magic. I was like, great. So I just started throwing random stuff in my inventory at him. Just so happened I had a lot amount of sting pellets and Weasley fireworks.
Well, at least sort of, if you think about it, when they try and do their in their first years, they know basically nothing. So yeah, all they could have really done is just throw sparks at one another. So yeah, throwing actual objects at first years isn't too bad.
You know what I always thought would be interesting? If Harry Potter was a girl, it would make Voldemort, like trying so very hard to get Harry be a lot creepier, don't you think?
Because a dude chasing after a dude is fine, but a dude chasing a chick, that's just suddenly weird.
Yeah.
Well, it's a creepy snake-like dude chasing after a pretty girl. You see the problem there? Also, we should totally make Draco a chick as well. She would be beautiful.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna actually step out for now. See you guys. It was fun being part of the cast.
Bye!
See you, buddy.
Bye. I don't know. The thing is that Harry sort of... I don't know, he could be written as a female. I don't know how much his gender would really change things. They're just...
It would change a few things. I think maybe if Harry was a girl, Ron would have a crush on him instead of Hermione or something like that. Although, honestly, I always thought Ron wasn't good enough for Hermione. I mean, think about it. She's the smartest witch of her age, and what is Ron?
Ron's just an average dude.
Who eats a lot.
Yes. Is really lanky.
Yeah, like... Hermione might be bushy-haired, but I think she could do better than Ron.
Oh yeah, certainly. Though there isn't that many wizards in the wizarding world. Like, who else in their around their age is really a kind of competition?
Well,
Neville
Victor Crumb.
Longbottom. Isn't he older than them though? Like
Yeah,
a few
but
years.
he was still in school, so he was well within her age range.
Yeah,
And
it's
he
not too
was
bad.
a celebrity, and he liked her. I don't know why she would pick Ron over him. I mean, he's
Yeah.
powerful, strong, wealthy. Of course, she would have to deal with the fangirls, which would be a pain. So I could see that. Do you want even someone like I don't know, Blaze Beanie? He was a powerful wizard. I mean, he didn't really do much. In fact, he was
Was it?
basically just a name.
Yeah. Zabini. Well, he's one of the
Slytherin.
Slug Club and Slytherins. Yeah. I thought
He's
he was
also
like kind of a bit of a prick.
yeah, how would we know? We never heard him talk. For all we know, he could be a sweet, shy guy who just happens to have a thing for power.
Yeah. But
But yeah,
there's not
I
that
mean,
many containers, really. I don't know. I don't.
well,
I agree
there's
at least
plenty of
that.
guys. It's just we don't really know anything about them.
Yeah, and I mean, she could basically just like. I mean, there's a sizable population all across the rest of the world that are probably also wizards. Like, even if she doesn't want to learn a foreign language, she's got Australia, United States, and Canada, and whatever, other English-speaking places that have wizards there as well.
Hmm.
I,
Yeah,
I
so
think, yeah, I don't know, like, I
Hermione
won't,
has the bad habit of getting shipped with everyone, though. She
yeah,
does. She's been just go to fanfic.com. She's been shipped with, of course, Ron, Harry, Neville. Um, d- will you stop licking me, you stupid dog? Um,
like,
uh, Sorry, my dog is licking me. Then there's of course Draco, Zambini, Crab, Goyle. Oh, can't forget Severus Snape, Lucius Malfoy. Uh, 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 God, whoever that guy was that attacked her. She's also been shipped with Oh God, what's her name?
I bet she's been practically shipped with all of them, like, she's been shipped with, has she been
Oh,
shipped with
all the
Lupin?
Weasley boys, all of them,
Okay.
even the
Has
one
she
that's
been shipped with
married.
Ginny?
Yeah, she's been shipped with everyone. Surprisingly, Jenny hasn't been shipped with everyone.
Hmm.
People seem fixated on her and Harry, which is weird, because honestly, Jenny's kind of a tramp.
A kind of a what?
A tramp. She dated nearly every Gryffindor.
She dated quite a few, yeah. Eh,
I don't
I
know,
don't care
like
about that really. I don't know, like, would I, if I meet a girl and they said, "Hey, I've had a few boyfriends in the past," do I care? No.
no, but like I don't know. I always thought it
I
was
mean,
kind of weird him wanting to date a girl that looked exactly like his mother. Kind of creepy.
yeah, I mean, I think they jump into the whole relationship stuff a bit quickly. Like, yeah, it's sort of, hey, Ron and Hermione, you're both sort of, yeah, you're both really close friends, but is this really the best choice? And I don't necessarily think
No,
it should be. No.
I don't know. I always thought Ron would do better with Luna.
Looney Lovegood? He never.
Yes,
Why would he be good with her?
because they're both crazy.
He always sort of seemed though like Ron is weird in his own way, but like he kind of is put off by her crazy more than the others. Like I don't know, I would like more. I don't know. I don't think there was ever a romantic side between it, but like Harry
Or
and
what
Luna were
about that
always really
girlfriend
nice.
he was with? What was her name? Lavender? Lavender
Lavender
Brown.
Brown, yeah.
That crazy blonde chick. She was crazy. Compared to Luna, like like going from that to Luna would be like less crazy.
Yeah, I mean they're all. I don't know. The thing is, we
I don't
only know them
know.
from their young ages, and like how are they actually going to grow and mature as adults? And it's sort of because the whole relationship side is when you're actually much older and more mature and being going to be adults for the rest of your life. Strangely enough, and all we really see of them at the max is usually all the people in the school are what age are they when they leave? 18, 19, that age range, isn't it?
18. I think it's 18 because 17 is when they're fully adult, and they have one more year after that. But they can
Yeah.
leave when they're 17.
Yeah, so it's like how will these things work out when they're actually adults and trying to figure out adult lives and stuff? It's really hard to say.
Yeah, like I would have been fine if they cut it off. It's just that little part in the book when they go into the future,
Yeah, I don't like that.
Married with Jenny. It's it's better just to imagine it. Like Hermione probably would be better off with someone like Draco, who's an equal in intelligence as her. Where Ron's kind of. I'm not saying she should have married Malfoy. It's not what I'm saying because Malfoy's a jerk. All I'm saying is that he's equally as smart as her.
Well, I
Maybe a
think it
little
isn't
less.
really she has to marry someone who is as smart as her. She just has to marry someone she'll be happy with. Someone that has a good relation. They have a good relationship between.
Okay. But have you ever dated someone that's intelligent is far below yours, and so you find yourself constantly having to explain things to them? It can be very annoying.
Can be. It depends really on the dynamic between the two, and those two generally do get well. Those two have always been like always at each other's throats or having problems with one another, which is why in the end is why it feels weird that they end up together.
Do you mean Hermione with
Ron
Ron?
and
Because they are
Hermione,
fighting
yeah.
all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
they
That
are
was
fighting all the time. Can you imagine being raised in a household where your parents are constantly fighting like them? How many times do you think Hermione has threatened to divorce Ron because he did something stupid?
well, she should sort of be used to him doing stupid stuff by now.
Yeah, I don't know. All I'm saying is that she would probably be happier off marrying someone that she wouldn't clash with so much. You know?
Well,
And
yeah, I mean, it can always work. The situation is, though, is that they got along, but I didn't really see it in a more relationship-y way. Like, you could be friends with someone, but then if you're like actually, spending a lot of time with them and getting close and intimate with them and living with them, that's something different.
hmm yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people probably were a bit upset with the. I didn't really like the idea of the including the thing at the end of what happens in the future. It kind of gives a happier feel to the end than just sort of yeah we beat him, yeah. But it also does like close down doors to how things could have moved on.
Not that it stops fanfic writers.
Yeah.
God knows it. And believe it or not, they're still going strong. Every time I look on fanfiction.net, there's always more stories of Harry Potter. Harry Potter still outranks the fanfics written about Twilight. Woohoo!
That's good.
Because I don't like Twilight. I'm sorry. She annoys me.
You mean the Twilight Saga or Twilight Sparkle?
Oh, Twilight as in, sparkly vampires?
Yeah, Twilight Saga.
Like, I'm not gonna hate on it. It's just, it's not my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
I sort of like vampires still being monsters, not cuddly little puppies that have been abused and neglected, and you want to take them home and snuggle them and cuddle them forever. I am sorry. As much as I like the interview with a vampire, it opened up a door that should have never been opened. Now we will forever be stuck with sappy vampires. I miss evil vampires like De La Lugosi.
It'll be an amazing twist one day when the vampire turns out to be evil.
Yeah. Like, we still have evil vampires, but vampires aren't supposed to be evil towards themselves, It's like, I kind of miss, vampires being vampires, not brooding emo love children that bite.
Yeah. They're always kind of interesting dark creatures, kind of lots of weird requirements of them. I don't know. I'm never really one who's been stepped much or cared much about vampire lore in the first place. I've always been in more kind of the, sci-fi type settings and stuff.
Mhm. I don't know. I've always liked my monsters, although sci-fi is good too. It really just depends.
hmm Uh, One thing
I
I
just.
do have to be, I should be going. It's getting a bit late here.
All right. Bye.
All
And
right,
with that, would you like to sign off, seeing as I'm going to turn off the podcast?
all right. Bye everyone. I'm Biter. I blarg at things. Blarg.
Bye, everyone. And Starlight Pony shining out. And don't forget to sparkle. Yeah.